today. David in Mount Lake Terrace, Washington. David, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm disagreeing with you. First, on the libertarians. Libertarians believe in liberty. Liberty is one definition.
Nah.
And
libertarians are Republicans who want to smoke dope and get laid.
Let me define. Well, I'm a libertarian,
okay,
and I'll tell you what I believe.
All right.
If you want to listen.
I'm listening.
Liberty has one definition, and that's that you can live your life the way you want, as long as that life doesn't keep someone else from doing the same. So therefore, if the Koch brothers or another company are polluting, that's an assault on liberty, and libertarians don't believe in that. So,
do you believe? And I mean this as a serious conversation, David. Let's talk about this. Do you believe that if you are sick and you can't afford to pay for health care, that you're free?
Sure, that has nothing to do with freedom. That has absolutely nothing to do with freedom. The person can treat the person freely.
So when the founder, when Jefferson wrote in the Declaration of Independence that our inalienable rights included the right.
I'm just defining what freedom is
for you.
There's only one definition. There's only one definition. That has
if you really believe that, I think you're making my point.
When Jefferson, that healthcare situation.
When Jefferson made the point that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are inalienable rights, the right to life means the right to get healed if you're sick.
No.
Does it not?
No, you have the freedom. A doctor has the freedom to treat that person for free.
Then we have a fundamental disagreement about the word liberty. I agree with Franklin Roosevelt when he said that in his 1936 acceptance speech in Philadelphia, he said, an old British judge once said, a necessitous man is not a free man. Liberty requires ability, right? Liberty requires the ability to function in society. If you are sick and you can't get healed, even though healing is available to others, then you're not free. If you are hungry and you can't get food, even though food is available to others, you are not free. Those are my definitions of freedom. And I think, frankly, for most people, that's their definitions of freedom. I get it that libertarians think that you're only, that liberty means, hey, you're free to die like a dog in the gutter. You're free to starve to death. That's fine. I don't think that's the American tradition. In fact, I know that's not the American tradition.
It doesn't matter. I'm not talking about.
It's the Koch brothers definition. I got it. David Koch ran for vice president in 1980 on the Libertarian ticket.
If you don't want to listen to somebody else's side,
I have listened to you.
I'm actually for the mandate, and I'll tell you why. Because I have a rational reason, whereas you don't. I'll tell you why I'm for the mandate for health care.
Okay.
Because man in his freedom has chosen to treat these people anyway. So they're going to everybody has health care in this country. Anybody that goes in gets treated because man has chosen to do that.
No, that's because of a 1986 law that Ronald Reagan signed.
There's no doctor that will turn somebody away if that man is dying. That is freedom.
Actually, there are.
That is freedom. If
there are doctors' offices all over this.
That's not freedom.
I guarantee you there are doctors' offices all over this city that homeless people knock on the door of and they get turned away. And beyond that, it was Reagan who said that an emergency room may not turn people away. And the reason for that, the reason why Ronald Reagan pushed that in 1986 to say that emergency rooms can't turn people away is because when Ronald Reagan cut funding for mental health services in the state of California, and all of a sudden California had a homeless problem, a lot of those homeless people were getting sick, and they were showing up at emergency rooms, and they were getting turned away. Go back and read your history of the early 80s and the late 70s. They were getting turned away. People were literally dying in the streets of things that could have been fixed very easily. In some cases, in fact, there was a very famous case in the early 80s of somebody who died literally outside the emergency room, and they would not treat them. And so Reagan said in 86, we're going to force hospitals who get public funds, if they get any federal funding at all or any state or federal funding, they must treat people if they show up at the ER, and that bill goes to all of us. That mandate is what you're talking about when you say man has decided to treat everybody. No, it was Reagan who decided that we all had to treat everybody. Your turn.
There may be some people, there may be some doctors that would refuse that, but there are very few. I'm actually an ex-doctor, but anyway, that has nothing to do with freedom and the definition of freedom.
How can you be free if you're hungry?
The two, you're defining two different things. You can be free if you're hungry. You can be free if you're sick.
I don't think so.
You have to. Of course you can.
Are you familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of human needs?
When people first inhabited the earth, there was no health care. They were still free.
David, you said you're a physician. Are you familiar with Maslow's?
Two different things.
You said that you're a physician. Are you familiar with Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of human needs? It's kind of Psych 101. You know, at the bottom is the need for homeostasis, and then above that, the food, hunger, regulate your body temperature, food, water, air to breathe, and then above that are the social needs, and then above that, this higher, at the very top is self-actualization. I would submit to you that at that line above the fundamental human needs that Maslow drew, what he called the homeostatic needs, that anything below that line, if you're not having those needs met, you're not free. That's my argument.
So your idea is that the government is to force freedom or liberty away from somebody else and force them to do something.
If you're defining wealth as freedom and liberty the way that David Koch does, yes, I would say that. Yes. David? Okay.
Medical freedom.
David, thanks a lot for the call.